Hello and welcome back to our vocabulary and describing polynomials. So last time we did that really difficult task of deciding which statements were always, sometimes, and never, and it required us to think a lot. But we did it and y'all did awesome at it. So now let's continue on with some practice problems using our vocabulary. So this first question you are going to see a lot. Okay, so we need to make sure that we can write things in standard form. So the most important thing about standard form is that it needs to be simplified, meaning you need to combine your like terms, and your exponents need to be in order from largest to smallest. So the first thing we're going to look at is if it needs to be simplified. Is there anything that we can combine? No, there's not. Okay, cool. So now we need to find our largest tiny number, our largest exponent. Okay, so we have a 1, a 0, a 4, and a 2. 4 is the largest one. So I'm going to take this entire term, don't forget the sign in front of it, and I'm going to rewrite it right here, negative 3x to the 4th. Okay? So we used that one, and now I need to find the next largest one. So we have 1, 0, and 2. This 2, okay? So obviously the next largest one is going to be 2. So we're going to have plus, because you don't forget the sign, 2x squared. Okay? And now we need our next largest one. So I have 1 and 0. So that means that 1 is going to be the next one. Miss Johnson, there is not a plus sign in front of the 5x. What do I do? Well, if you recall in the previous video, I said that if there is not a sign in front of your first term, assume it is positive. Okay? Oops, I forgot to cross out the orange one so that we knew we were done with it. And then all that's left is the negative 4. And we are in standard form. Very good, guys. We'll do more practice with this, but you really want to make sure that you understand that it needs to be simplified and it needs to be in order from largest to smallest. Okay? Now, number 2 is asking about number 1. It wants to know the constant term. Well, look at your vocab from the previous video or just look up at your notes. Constant term is the number without a letter next to it. So which one of these numbers doesn't have a letter? Right, it's going to be this negative 4. So our constant term is negative 4. And then, for number 3, what is the leading coefficient of the following polynomials? Before we can say anything, we need to make sure that this is simplified and in order from our largest exponent to our smallest one. Okay, so it looks simplified because there's nothing we can combine. And then we go from 4 to 0. Perfect. So this is in standard form. So then our leading exponent is just going to be the number in front, which is going to be 2. Do not put 2x to the 4th. You just put 2. Alrighty. And then, for the next one, make sure that it's simplified, which it is. Make sure we're in order from largest to smallest. So 3, 2, 1, 0. Excellent. And then, what is in front of our first variable? We have a negative. Well, that means that there is a secret negative 1. Okay? Negative x cubed is the same as negative 1x cubed. Okay? We are just able to simplify this into this. Cool. And then just to make sure everybody understands this one as well, side note, x is same as 1x. Okay? Cool. And also tiny exponent. Cool. Alright, so now we're ready to flip to the back. And we have a couple more examples, and then we get to do our mix and match. So what's the degree of our polynomial? So remember that degree means largest exponent. Okay, so what is your largest tiny number here? It's going to be this 5. And do we have a name for 5? No, so we're just going to call it 5th degree. Cool. Alright, and now for the next two problems, it wants us to classify by number of terms. Okay, so remember that we split up terms by a plus or a minus sign. Okay, so here's one term, here's two terms, here's three terms. So this is a 3-term polynomial, which is going to be called a trinomial. Like a tricycle has 3 wheels. Okay? And then this one has 1 term, 2 terms, which is going to be called a binomial. Like a bicycle has 2 wheels. Alrighty. And now, for number 6, we need to classify by degree. Remember, degree is that largest tiny number. So what's the largest tiny number here? It's going to be this 4. Okay? And do we have a name for 4 degree? Nope. So we're just going to call it 4th degree. Okay? And then our largest degree over here, don't forget that there's that secret tiny 1 right there. And this is 0, so the 1 is going to be the largest one. And remember, we're looking at degree this time, so this is going to be called linear. Alrighty? Cool. So now you guys get to try the mix and match. Alrighty? Use your vocabulary on the front. You can do it. I believe in you. Okay? When you're done, we will check it together. Okay? Alright, good luck, guys.